Hey folks, Mr. Dell here. We are looking at a compound interest problem. And so I'm taking this from CPM course 3, and this is section 8.2.1. There we go. Specifically number 8-52. So it says determine the compound interest earned on $220 invested at 3.25% compounded annually for 6 years. So it wants to know what the interest is, right? Well, when we do compound interest, remember, is taking the principal, my interest, my initial rate, multiplying it by the percentage and itself. So that, how do we do that? So they basically, if you're going to multiply, if you want to find what interest you have in the first year, you would take that $220 and you're going to find actually 100 and I'll write it over here, 103.25% of 220, right? So if I can find 103.25% of that 220, that's my interest in the first year. And then I keep doing that each year because it compounds on itself, right? Compound interest is you get your interest and then you put it back in the bank, and then you get your interest again for the next year and you put it back in your account and get your interest again based on that rate. So in order to take a percent, 103.25, let me rewrite this because it looks messy. 103.25% of $220. In order to do that math, you have to put this as a decimal. So taking a percent, making it a decimal, move the decimal place twice over. So this is actually 1.0325. So I'm going to multiply that and I'm going to compound it annually. So that means every year, once a year, and for 6 years. So I'm going to multiply this by itself 6 times. So that's why we're going to use the power, the exponent of 6. So this is the setup for how much I'm going to have in my account. So that's my total amount of money that I'll have in my account. So how do we do that? This one, you're going to definitely need to use a calculator. So we're going to go 220, and we're going to multiply that by 1 point. Let's see if you can see that. 1.0325. And then to an exponent, it's that little caret, that little hat key to the 6th power. So again, what does that mean? That means I'm taking that amount and continuing for 6 years, multiplying to get itself. It's 100%. So it's increasing by 103.25% every year for 6 years. So I enter. So this amount now, what do I get? This is equal to $266.54. I round to the nearest penny. So that's how much money I'd have in the account after 6 years with that interest rate compounded annually. But I want to know what then is the interest. So the answer to this, it says determine the actual interest, not the amount we have. So one more step is I got to subtract the original amount, 220, from this. And so we're going to end up with $46.54. That's my interest earned.